Ethan Carter stepped out of his old truck, stretching his arms as he looked at his new home. It wasn't much, just a two-story house on the edge of town, surrounded by tall trees. The paint was a little faded. The porch creaked under his weight. But it was his. A fresh start. The deal had been almost too good to believe. A fully furnished house for half the market price. Ethan had expected a catch, but the paperwork was all legal. He had signed the documents, paid the amount, and now the house was his. As he unlocked the door and stepped inside, the air smelled different. Not musty, like an old house should. Instead, there was a faint scent of something sweet, almost like flowers mixed with metal. He shrugged it off and walked further in. The furniture looked untouched, clean, as if someone had been living here just yesterday. That was when he heard it, a rustling sound from the living room. Ethan tensed. Was someone here? He grabbed a nearby umbrella, the only weapon he could find, and moved cautiously toward the noise. When he turned the corner, he froze. 3 girls stood in the living room, staring at him. But they weren't normal girls. The first one, standing closest, had deep violet skin, sharp golden eyes, and long dark blue hair. She wore what looked like battle armor, a sharp dagger in her hand. She looked ready to attack. The second one, sitting on the couch, had short silver hair and bright green eyes. She wore a loose jumpsuit covered in strange glowing patterns. A small floating device hovered beside her. She studied Ethan with curiosity, tilting her head. The third girl, standing slightly behind the others, had soft lavender hair and glowing blue eyes. She wore a simple white dress and seemed the most nervous. Her hands trembled as she clutched a small, glass-like tablet. Who are you?" Ethan finally managed to say. The warrior-like girl narrowed her eyes. "I should be asking you that. Human." Human. Ethan's heart pounded. These girls weren't just unusual looking. They weren't human at all. The girl in the jumpsuit sighed and leaned back. "Looks like the new owner is here," she muttered. "Owner?" Ethan blinked in confusion. "No, I just bought this house. The previous owner should have left." The nervous girl hesitated before speaking softly. "We are part of the house." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean, part of the house?" The armored girl stepped forward. "This house was not just a home. It was a contract. And by buying it, you didn't just get the property. You got us." Ethan dropped the umbrella. "Wait. What?" The 3 girls exchanged glances. The silver-haired one smirked. "Congratulations, Ethan Carter. You just became the owner of 3 alien girls." Ethan Carter stared at the 3 alien girls, his mind struggling to process what he had just heard. Owner of them. That didn't make any sense. "Okay, hold on," he said, raising his hands. "This has to be some kind of joke. You're saying that when I bought this house, I also bought you." The girl in battle armor, Nyx, crossed her arms and gave him an annoyed look. "That is correct. By the laws of the original owner, we are now bound to you." Ethan blinked. Bound. What does that even mean? The silver-haired girl, Lyra, leaned forward on the couch, her bright green eyes filled with amusement. "It means we live here now. And technically, we have to listen to you. But don't get any funny ideas, human." The third girl, Uri, shifted uncomfortably, her glowing blue eyes filled with uncertainty. "We don't really have anywhere else to go," she admitted softly. Ethan ran a hand through his hair, trying to stay calm. All right. Let's start from the beginning. Who are you, and why are you in my house?" Nyx sighed, clearly impatient. "I am Nyx, former warrior of the Draxian Empire. My people lost the war, and I ended up here." Lyra, the silver-haired girl said, giving a lazy salute. "Tech genius, wanted by some annoying galactic corporations. Let's just say I borrowed some things I wasn't supposed to." Ori hesitated before speaking. "I don't remember much. I just know that I've been here the longest, and that people are looking for me." Ethan frowned. Wait. So all of you are fugitives? Lyra smirked. Wow, he's quick. Nix groaned. It is not as bad as it sounds. It sounds really bad. Ethan rubbed his temples. I was just looking for a cheap house, not intergalactic trouble. Well, too bad, Lyra said. Because whether you like it or not, we're part of this house's contract. You own the house, you own us. Ethan shook his head. I don't own people. Ori looked at him carefully. That's different, she whispered. Ethan sighed and sat down on a chair. His mind was spinning, but one thing was clear. His simple, quiet life was already over. Okay, he finally said. Let's set some ground rules. If we're all living here, I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with. Are more aliens going to show up? Nix looked at the others before answering. Probably. Lyra grinned. Definitely. Ethan groaned. Great, just great. He had bought a house. But what he really got was 3 alien girls, a load of galactic problems, and zero idea of how to deal with any of it. Ethan Carter sat on the couch, rubbing his face. This was crazy. He had moved in expecting a quiet life, maybe some home repairs, not 3 alien fugitives claiming to be part of the property. All right, he said, exhaling slowly. If you 3 are living here, I need answers. First question. Why is this house part of some weird alien contract? Nix leaned against the wall, arms crossed. This is no ordinary house, human. It may look normal, but it is actually old alien property, hidden on Earth for centuries. Ethan frowned. But I bought it like any regular house, from a human seller. Lyra grinned. That's because the previous owner was a middleman. He probably had no idea what this place really was. Ethan shook his head. Okay, so what is it? A spaceship? A secret alien base? Ori hesitated before whispering. It is. Alive. Ethan stared. Excuse me. Just then, a deep hum echoed through the walls. The lights flickered. The wooden floor beneath them seemed to shift slightly, almost like the house was breathing. What the hell was that? Ethan jumped to his feet. Lyra chuckled. That's the house reacting to you. To me. Nix sighed. When you signed the contract, the house recognized you as the new owner. It responds to your presence. You are now its master. Ethan stepped back, his heart pounding. That's insane. Ori looked at him with her glowing blue eyes. It is also protecting you now, she said softly. Before Ethan could process that, a loud beeping sound came from the kitchen. Lyra immediately stood up. That's the house's security system, she said, eyes narrowing. Something, or someone, is outside. Ethan's stomach dropped. What do you mean? Who would be out there? Nix pulled out her dagger. Trouble. Without waiting, she moved toward the front door, her sharp golden eyes glowing with a warrior's instincts. Lyra followed, her floating device projecting a small holographic screen. Ori stood close to Ethan, gripping his sleeve. They have found us, she whispered. Ethan swallowed hard. Who? Before anyone could answer, there was a sudden bang on the door. Then another. The whole house trembled. Not good, Lyra muttered. Looks like someone tracked us down. Ethan's heart pounded. He had only owned this house for a few hours, and already he was caught in something way bigger than himself. Nix gripped the doorknob, looking back at Ethan. What do you want to do, human? Ethan hesitated. He could run. He could pretend none of this was happening. But deep down, he knew this was his house now. And these girls, strange as they were now his responsibility. Taking a deep breath, he clenched his fists. Let them try, he said. This is my home. And I'm not letting anyone take it from me. The pounding on the door grew louder. The whole house seemed to tremble, as if it was alive and sensing danger. Ethan Carter stood frozen for a moment, his mind racing. Who the hell was outside? Nix tightened her grip on her dagger, eyes glowing with fierce determination. "Get ready," she said. "Whoever they are, they didn't come for a friendly visit." Lyra quickly tapped on her floating device, scanning the outside. A small holographic screen appeared, showing two tall figures in heavy armor standing at the front door. Their helmets had glowing red visors, and their weapons were aimed straight at the house. "Bounty hunters," Lyra muttered. "Intergalactic ones." Ethan's stomach dropped. "Bounty hunters. What do they want?" Nyx shot him a look. "What do you think?" "They're after us." Ori, standing behind Ethan, trembled slightly. "They might be after me," she whispered. Before Ethan could ask why, a deep robotic voice echoed from outside. "Nyx of the Draxian Empire, Lyra of the Technomancers. Unknown entity. Surrender now, or we will breach the structure." Ethan's heart pounded. This wasn't just some minor trouble. These were professional alien hunters, standing on his doorstep. "We need to fight," Nyx said, her body tensing. Lyra smirked. "Finally, some action." Ethan took a step back, waving his hands. "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't just start a fight on my front lawn. We'll get the entire town involved." Lyra rolled her eyes. "Trust me, normal humans won't see anything. Their technology keeps them hidden. That doesn't make me feel any better." Ethan snapped. Ori tugged on his sleeve. "Ethan," she said softly, "this house, it can protect us." Ethan turned to her, confused. "What do you mean?" Before Ori could answer, the bounty hunters acted. With a loud boom, the front door exploded inward. Smoke filled the air as the armored figures stepped inside, weapons raised. Nyx moved like lightning, charging forward and slashing at the closest hunter with her dagger. Sparks flew as metal met metal. The hunter staggered back, but didn't fall. Lyra pressed a button on her wrist device, and the lights in the house flickered. Suddenly, the floor beneath the second bounty hunter shifted, hidden panels opened, and metallic tendrils shot out, wrapping around the intruder's legs. Ethan's eyes widened. "The house is fighting back." Lyra grinned. "Told you it wasn't normal." The bounty hunters struggled, but Ori raised her hands, her glowing blue eyes pulsing with energy. The air grew heavy, and a strange force surrounded the invaders. The lead bounty hunter's voice crackled through his helmet. This isn't over." With a final surge of energy, Ori unleashed a blast of psychic force, sending the hunters flying back through the door. The moment they hit the ground outside, their suits flickered and vanished. They had activated their teleporters. Silence filled the house. Ethan swallowed. "Okay," he said, breathing hard. "Now I know I'm in deep trouble." Ethan Carter stood in the middle of his living room, heart still racing. His front door was gone, replaced by a smoking hole. Pieces of wood and metal lay scattered across the floor. The bounty hunters were gone, but their attack left one thing clear: this wasn't over. He turned to the three alien girls. "All right," he said, exhaling sharply. "What the hell was that?" Nyx sheathed her dagger, unfazed. "Bounty hunters. Standard procedure for high-value targets." Lyra dusted off her jumpsuit and smirked. "They weren't expecting us to fight back so hard." Ethan ran a hand through his hair. "No kidding. They blew up my front door." Ori looked at him with concern. Are you scared?" Ethan stared at her glowing blue eyes, then let out a shaky laugh. "Scared? I just fought off alien bounty hunters in my own house. Of course I'm scared." Lyra tapped on her floating device, scrolling through data. "Something's weird," she muttered. Ethan frowned. "Weirder than 3 aliens living in my house." Lyra ignored him. "Those bounty hunters. The moment they saw you, they hesitated." Ethan blinked. "Wait. Me?" Nyx nodded slowly. "Yes, they expected resistance from us. But when they realized a human was involved, they backed off faster than usual." Ethan folded his arms. "Why would they be scared of me? I'm just some guy." Lyra grinned. Because you're human, Ethan. Ethan raised an eyebrow. And that means? Nick sighed. Humans have a reputation in the galaxy. Even though Earth is considered a primitive world, there are rumors about your kind. Ethan frowned. What kind of rumors? Lyra chuckled. That humans are insane. Ethan blinked. Excuse me? Nick smirked. Think about it. The galaxy has thousands of species, most of them highly advanced. They evolve with caution, avoid unnecessary risks, and maintain strict control over their environments. Lyra continued, but humans, you guys throw yourselves into danger for fun. You build weapons that can destroy entire planets before you even master space travel. You fight wars, explore deadly environments, and survive things other species wouldn't even attempt. Ori nodded softly. Other aliens see you as unpredictable, dangerous. Ethan laughed in disbelief. So let me get this straight. These bounty hunters, the ones with laser guns and armor, were scared of me. Lyra grinned. Not just scared, terrified. The moment they realized they were up against an unpredictable human, they got the hell out of here. Ethan thought about it for a moment. Then he smirked. So if I act crazier, I might scare off more of them. Nix raised an eyebrow. Possibly, but do not push your luck, human. Ethan chuckled. Oh, I like this. For the first time since moving in, Ethan felt like he had the upper hand. If aliens thought humans were dangerous, maybe he could use that to his advantage. Ethan Carter leaned against the broken doorway, staring at the night sky. Somewhere out there, bounty hunters were regrouping, probably planning another attack. But now he had a new weapon, his humanity. He turned back to the three alien girls. All right, if the galaxy thinks humans are crazy, I say we use that to our advantage. Nix folded her arms. You are suggesting deception. Ethan grinned. No, I'm suggesting we make them believe their own rumors. Lyra smirked. I like this idea. Ori, however, looked nervous. But what if they don't fall for it? Ethan shrugged. Then we'll figure out something else. But let's be honest. Right now, I don't have laser weapons, psychic powers, or combat training. What I do have is the ability to act completely unpredictable. Nick sighed. This is ridiculous, but considering how fast they ran away, it might work. Ethan clapped his hands. Perfect. Let's make a plan. The next morning, Ethan stood in his front yard, hammering the huge wooden sign into the ground. Warning. Experimental human territory. Do not. Below that, Lyra had added some alien text, making it look even more official. Nix shook her head. I cannot believe we are doing this. Lyra grinned. Oh, it gets better. Inside the house, they had set up traps, not real ones, but things designed to look terrifying. The front door had blinking red lights and a fake biometric scanner that beeped menacingly. The living room now had strange glowing symbols, which were actually just random drawings Lyra made. Ori had scattered some of her glowing crystals around to make the place look super mysterious. And the best part, Ethan had set up speakers playing eerie sounds, whispers, deep growls, and the occasional maniacal laughter. Nix frowned. This is ridiculous. No real warrior would fall for such tricks. Lyra smirked. You'd be surprised how much fear can mess with someone's head. Ori tilted her head. What if they test it? Ethan grinned. That's where I come in. That night, another group of bounty hunters arrived. 4 of them, moving carefully through the shadows. From the safety of the house, Ethan watched them approach. Then, with a deep breath, he burst through the front door, waving a wrench in one hand and a smoking toaster in the other. Ha ha ha. Fine, Eloy. Test sub G seatsies, he shouted at the top of his lungs. The bounty hunters froze. Ethan's eyes went wide, and he started laughing uncontrollably. You dare enter the domain of the human scientist. Excellent. Come in. Let me test my NEW explosive banana ray. One of the hunters took a step back. "W what?" Ethan bit into the toaster like it was a sandwich. "Tastes like metal and pain." The bounty hunters turned and ran for their lives. As they vanished into the night, Lyra nearly collapsed from laughter. "Oh my stars. It worked." Nix blinked. I don't know if I should be impressed or concerned." Ori just smiled. "Humans really are scary." Ethan Carter leaned against the doorway, grinning. The bounty hunters had bolted the moment he bit into the toaster. He could still hear their terrified shouts echoing in the distance. Lyra wiped away tears from laughing so hard. "I can't believe that actually worked." "You're a legend, Ethan." Nix crossed her arms, staring at him. "You are insane." Ethan smirked. "No, I'm acting insane. Big difference." Ori tilted her head. "Are you sure?" That was a little too convincing. Ethan shrugged. "Hey, it worked. Now, with any luck, those guys will spread the word. This house is home to an unstable human scientist who eats metal and experiments on aliens." Lyra snorted. "That rumor will spread like wildfire." Nix, however, wasn't smiling. "It may keep bounty hunters away, for now. But if someone really powerful hears about this, they may come looking." Ethan sighed. "Yeah, I figured. But at least we bought ourselves some time." Ori nodded. "Time is good, but we should prepare." Ethan scratched his head. "Prepare for what?" Ori hesitated. "For whoever comes next." The next day, Lyra was already scanning galactic news channels, checking for any mention of their little performance. It didn't take long. Lyra burst into the living room, waving her floating device. "Guys, we made it into the Intergalactic Criminal Bulletin." Ethan blinked. "Wait. What?" Nix frowned. "That is not a good thing." Lyra pulled up the screen, and there it was. An official wanted alert, but the description wasn't what Ethan expected. New warning. A deranged human scientist has taken control of an abandoned alien facility on Earth. Reports indicate he is experimenting on fugitives and consuming unknown metals. Approach with extreme caution. Ethan read it twice. Then he burst out laughing. "Oh, this is perfect." Nix groaned. "No, this is dangerous. If this report reaches the wrong people." She was cut off by a loud beep. The house's security system activated. A voice echoed through the room. "Incoming transmission from an unidentified source." Ethan's grin faded. "That doesn't sound good." The holographic screen flickered to life, showing a dark figure with glowing red eyes. His deep voice sent chills through the room. "So, the rumors are true. A mad human has appeared on Earth. Interesting." Ethan gulped. Hi." The figure chuckled. "I am Lord Varazar, a collector of rare and dangerous beings. And you, human, you have caught my interest." Ethan felt his stomach drop. "Oh." Ori clutched his sleeve. "Ethan, he's one of the most dangerous warlords in the galaxy." Lyra's face was pale. "And now he wants to meet you." Ethan groaned. Great, just great. His plan had worked a little too well. Now, the biggest threat yet was coming straight for him. Ethan Carter stared at the holographic figure of Lord Varazar, his glowing red eyes practically burning through the screen. The alien warlord's voice was deep and full of amusement. "I have seen many warriors, many monsters, but never have I heard of a human so feared that bounty hunters flee in terror." Ethan forced a grin. "Yeah, well, I try my best." Nix grabbed Ethan's arm, whispering sharply, "You idiot. Do you realize who this is? Lord Varazar is a warlord who collects rare and dangerous beings, and then makes them fight to the death." Ethan's smile faded. "Wait, what?" Varazar chuckled. "I do not waste my time with weaklings, but you, human, you interest me. So, I make you an offer. Prove your madness. Prove your strength. Face my champion in battle. If you win, I shall leave you in peace. Ethan's stomach twisted. And if I lose? Varzar's grin widened. Then you become part of my collection. Lyra cursed under her breath. That means enslavement. Ori clutched Ethan's sleeve. Don't do it. Ethan took a deep breath. He was just a normal guy. He couldn't fight some alien champion. But if he refused, Varzar might just attack anyway. His mind raced. He needed a way out. He needed to be smarter. Ethan smirked. All right, Warlord. I accept your challenge. Nyx's eyes widened. Ethan, no. Varzar's grin grew sharper. Good. My champion arrives in 1 hour. Do not disappoint me. Mad human. The hologram vanished. The room was silent. Then, are you T-U-R-A-Z? Nyx shouted. Maybe. Ethan said, pacing. Look, we don't have a choice. If I said no, he would attack anyway. At least this way, I get a chance to control the situation. Lyra frowned. Do you even know how to fight? Ethan hesitated. Not really. Nyx groaned. We are dead. Ori pulled at his arm. Ethan, please, you don't have to do this. Ethan looked into her worried blue eyes. Yes, I do. But don't worry. I have a plan. 1 hour later, the sky above Ethan's house split open. A massive alien ship hovered above, and a single figure teleported to the ground. The champion was huge, a 10-foot-tall reptilian alien, covered in armor, with claws the size of daggers. He looked at Ethan and growled. Ethan stepped forward, heart pounding, and raised his hands. Then he threw his head back and screamed. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Finally, 8 NUDTESD sub GCT. The champion blinked. Ethan grabbed a banana from his pocket and pointed it at the alien. Behold, my atom-splitting banana. 1 bite and your entire planet explodes. The champion hesitated. Do what? Ethan took a huge bite. Tastes like destruction. Ethan Carter stood tall, watching the massive alien champion run for his life. The giant warrior who could probably crush him with one hand had just fallen because Ethan ate a banana. Nyx, Lyra, and Ari stared in stunned silence. Varzar's holographic image flickered back to life, his red eyes narrowed in disbelief. I have fought countless warriors. I have conquered entire planets. But I have never seen a creature so insane that it scares my best fighter into running. Ethan smirked, wiping banana from his mouth. Yeah, well, humans are full of surprises. Varzar studied him for a moment, then chuckled darkly. You are not just dangerous. You are a force of chaos, and I do not battle chaos. I avoid it. Ethan's grin widened. Smart choice. Varzar's expression turned serious. I will honor our deal, human. You have won. I shall leave you in peace. For now. His red eyes glowed. But know this, if you ever cross my path again, I will not run. I will destroy you. With that, the hologram vanished, and the giant warship above them shot into hyperspace. For a long moment, there was silence. Then Lyra burst out laughing. Ethan, you absolute legend. That was the dumbest, most insane thing I've ever seen. And it worked. Ethan let out a shaky breath, finally letting go of the fear that had been gripping him. Yeah, well, remind me to never do that again. Ori sighed in relief, hugging his arm. You scared me too. Nyx shook her head in disbelief. I still do not understand how this is possible, but I cannot deny the results. The warlord is gone. The bounty hunters will hear of this. Your reputation has grown. Ethan frowned. That might be a problem. Lyra smirked. How so? Now nobody will mess with you. Ethan sighed. Yeah, but what happens when someone even worse hears about me? The room fell silent. Ori whispered, then we run. Ethan chuckled. Or we keep playing the crazy human card until it stops working. Nick smirked slightly. Then let us hope it never stops working. Ethan stretched, finally allowing himself to relax. All right, now that the warlord's gone, I'm gonna do what normal humans do after a stressful day. Eat pizza and take a nap. Lyra grinned. Ooh, pizza. Now that's human madness I can support. Ori smiled softly. I'll make tea. Nick sighed. I will stand guard, in case someone else wants to challenge you. As the group settled back into their chaotic little home, Ethan couldn't help but laugh. He had bought a house expecting peace and quiet. Instead, he got 3 alien girls, a galactic reputation, and a near-death experience with a warlord. And honestly, it was kind of fun.